Okay, let's unpack this. Forget everything you thought you knew about building a massive business.
Right.
Imagine a single person working completely solo, building a company worth $1 billion. Not over decades or even 5 years, but potentially within the next 12 months. That sounds absolutely wild, right? Almost unbelievable.
It does. It really does. And yet, according to the source material we're diving into today, a guide provocatively titled The Dummy's Guide to Building Your First $1 Billion AI Business. This isn't just, a remote possibility. It's being presented as, well, almost an inevitable outcome of the technological and economic shifts happening right now.
And that's our mission for this deep dive then, to explore that audacious claim. I mean, this guide paints a picture of an AI revolution that isn't just disrupting industries,
Right.
but creating an unprecedented opportunity specifically for individuals. We're talking about a market where AI companies are already attracting a staggering, 46% of global venture capital funding?
Yeah, something like that. Over $100 billion globally in 2025 alone. That's huge.
It's just massive. So what makes this guide so confident about a solo founder cracking the billion-dollar code so quickly?
Well, it starts with the sheer scale and velocity of the market itself. The global AI market is projected to explode from, I think, $328 billion in 2025
Wow.
to $1.8 trillion by 2030. That's a compound annual growth rate of like 37%.
Incredible.
But the source argues the real story here isn't just the size, it's the fundamental nature of what's growing. The emergence of something they call the vibe economy.
The vibe economy. Okay, that sounds different. More than just standard e-commerce or software. What exactly is that?
It's really the central concept enabling this solo scale. The vibe economy, as defined by the source, is basically based on AI that can read human emotions and intent.
Read emotions.
Yeah. This is the critical differentiator, you see. It moves beyond processing just explicit commands.
Like buy this or search for that.
Exactly. To understanding the subtle undertones, the cultural context, the unstated needs behind what someone says or does. And this capability, they argue, enables a single entrepreneur to serve millions, with a level of personalization that was, frankly, impossible before.
So it's about the AI not just understanding what you ask for, but maybe why you're asking for it. Or, I don't know, how you're feeling when you ask.
Precisely. That's it. And based on this foundational shift, the source makes that incredibly bold prediction. The first billion-dollar single-person company is inevitable within the next 12 months.
Wow, that is bold.
They are that confident because they see a specific convergence of factors happening right now, things that just weren't possible even a couple years ago.
Okay, so why now? What specific forces are aligning to make this kind of solo empire building actually feasible? Because it still sounds a bit sci-fi.
It does. But the source points to three major factors converging simultaneously. The first one is the vibe reading AI revolution itself.
Right, the emotion reading.
As we mentioned, this isn't the old guard of AI that needed, structured data and very explicit instructions. This new generation processes nuanced emotional signals, cultural context, implicit desires, all derived from just natural language.
Okay, can you give us a concrete example from the guide? How does this actually work differently?
Yeah, sure. The source uses the scenario of someone saying something simple, like, I need something cozy for tonight.
Okay.
Now, traditional systems might key in on cozy and show you, I don't know, blankets or maybe comfortable clothes.
Standard stuff.
Right. But a vibe-reading AI, using the context of the interaction, maybe it detects stress in the user's voice or their text history shows a recent difficult day. It understands this is actually a request for comfort, for de-stressing.
Much deeper.
Much deeper. So it might then suggest, say, a specific type of calming music playlist or a simple recipe for comfort food, maybe even a guided meditation app, all tailored to the underlying emotional state driving that simple request.
Okay, that really clarifies it. It's going beyond the surface level. Got it. What's the second converging factor then?
The second one is infinite scalability with zero marginal cost. This is absolutely critical and a massive shift from traditional business models.
Zero marginal cost, meaning?
Meaning the guide argues that digital products powered by this vibe-aware AI can be replicated and personalized for new customers at virtually no additional cost per user.
Okay, so in a traditional business, like serving more customers means more staff, more servers, maybe more office space.
Exactly. Your costs scale up, often linearly, with your customer base.
Right.
But here, once the AI system and the basic infrastructure are built, the cost of serving the millionth customer is, as the source puts it, Almost nothing.
Almost nothing.
Yeah, you're just delivering more instances of personalized digital value using the same underlying tech stack. The cost per user effectively approaches zero as you scale up.
That's wild. And that obviously enables those astronomical profit margins we should probably touch on later.
Absolutely. It's key to the whole economic model.
So what's the third piece of this convergence puzzle?
The third factor is global infrastructure as a service. Think of all the complicated bits required to run a large business.
Like payments, logistics, legal, customer service.
Manufacturing, marketing,
Right.
all that stuff that used to require dedicated departments and huge teams.
Right. Big overhead.
Huge overhead. The source highlights that almost all of this is now available instantly via simple API calls. It's like plugging into ready-made global systems.
So you mean like you can process payments in 190 countries with Stripe, or access global manufacturing through Alibaba's APIs, handle customer support in dozens of languages using AI platforms, all without actually building any of that infrastructure yourself.
That's exactly it. It's like having access to a global corporate operating system where you just pay for what you use, like utilities,
Wow.
rather than building the entire power plant yourself. So you have AI that understands human needs deeply, a cost structure that doesn't penalize growth, and the ability to tap into global business functions instantly.
Okay, so AI, zero-cost scaling, global infrastructure on tap.
Put it all together. The guide even lays out the simple math. Say, 1 million customers paying an average of $1,000 annually,
Okay.
with an 85% profit margin, which we just discussed, is possible.
Right, because of the low costs.
That yields $850 million in annual profit. Scale that just slightly higher, get a few more customers or slightly higher value, and you're well over $1 billion annually.
Just like that.
That mathematical reality combined with the technology is what makes the solo billion-dollar outcome plausible, they argue. It's not just a dream. The numbers can work.
That math is incredibly stark. Okay, so the pieces are there, but how does someone actually get from, just solving their own annoying problem to that billion-dollar realization in just 12 months? The guide outlines this 12-month pathway to accidental billions.
Yes, and that word accidental is really key. The source stresses this. The first solo billionaire likely won't start by trying to build a billion-dollar company.
Right, that seems counterintuitive.
It follows a specific predictable pattern, apparently. Founder solves a personal problem, something that really bugs them. They build a simple AI solution just for it. Then they achieve accidental product market fit because, hey, lots of other people share that same problem.
Okay.
Then it experiences viral scaling, often due to network effects. And only then does the founder have this billion-dollar realization, like, oh, wow, look what this became.
And they claim this whole path is dramatically accelerated right now, specifically because of that convergence we just discussed. The AI, the cost, the infrastructure.
Precisely. The timing is perfect because AI capability has just exploded and it's democratized through accessible, often no-code tools. Global infrastructure via APIs has reached a critical mass. Market psychology now expects deep personalization. People want it. And honestly, economic pressure is driving demand for the kind of efficiency AI delivers. Everything's lining up.
Okay, let's walk through that accelerated 12-month timeline. How does the guide actually break it down?
Okay, here's the breakdown they propose.
Personal problem solving. So the founder is genuinely frustrated by something in their own life.
Okay.
They build a simple AI tool to solve that specific problem for themselves, often using existing no-code tools and APIs. Very simple start.
Right, not trying to boil the ocean?
Not at all. They test it with a small group, maybe 10 to 50 people, friends, colleagues, maybe a small online community that shares the same frustration. The focus is purely on, is this helpful? Does it actually solve the pain point, the milestone here? Word of mouth starts organically, just people saying, hey, check this out.
Just scratching their own itch, sharing it with a few friends.
Yeah.
Very simple beginning.
Exactly. No grand business plan, no pitch decks yet. Then, month 4 to 6, accidental product market fit.
Accidental.
That simple, helpful solution starts spreading naturally because it genuinely solves a problem for others who are also frustrated. And crucially, because it's an AI product, it often improves automatically as more people use it. It learns from their interactions.
The AI gets smarter with use.
Exactly. A simple monetization method might emerge, maybe just to cover the minimal infrastructure costs we talked about. The key milestone here is hitting over 1,000 users who are highly satisfied, like 90% or more, saying, this is great.
So it's spreading because it's useful, and it's getting better as it spreads, which makes it spread even more.
That's the viral loop starting right there,
Yeah.
which leads to months 7 to 9, viral scaling, This is where things really take off, potentially going exponential.
Okay.
Network effects kick in hard. The more people use it, the more valuable it becomes for everyone involved. The AI gets dramatically smarter across the entire user base from all that new interaction data. Revenue growth accelerates rapidly, maybe 50, 100% monthly.
Monthly. Wow.
Yeah, often with little to no traditional marketing spend because the product itself is driving the growth. The milestone is hitting over 100,000 highly engaged users.
100% monthly growth for a solo operation is just, yeah, mind-blowing. And it's powered by the product itself improving, not by needing massive ad budgets.
That's the core argument, yeah. The value compounds with usage. Which brings us to months 10, 12, billion-dollar realization.
The big moment.
This is the moment the founder maybe looks up from the day-to-day, looks at the dashboard, and the numbers seem almost impossible compared to their initial simple goal. Daily active users are climbing into the millions.
Millions.
Monthly revenue is now hitting high 7, maybe even 8 figures. The market valuation based on this incredible growth and profitability is approaching or exceeding $1 billion. And the milestone, recognition as potentially the first solo founder to achieve this kind of scale this rapidly.
That is a whirlwind timeline.
Mhm.
There's incredible potential acceleration. The guide mentions specific KPIs aligning with each phase too, right, to track this.
Oh yeah, definitely. You'd shift focus. Early on, it's all about engagement metrics, user satisfaction, qualitative feedback. Then, as growth kicks in, you're looking hard at the viral coefficient, maybe monthly recurring revenue. And later, as it matures, you're looking at market share, operational efficiency, customer lifetime value, that kind of thing. The metrics evolve with the stage.
Okay, so it's accidental in that the initial goal wasn't billions, just solving a problem really well.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned this superhuman entrepreneur technology stack needed to run it all. Doesn't building that require significant technical skill and, intentional effort? It doesn't sound like you just stumble into that stack accidentally.
That's a really good question, and the source does address that nuance. It's not accidental in the sense of pure dumb luck or zero effort.
Right.
The founder is intentionally building a sophisticated solution to their problem. They're leveraging these powerful AI and infrastructure tools very deliberately. The accidental part, according to the guide, is that the billion-dollar scale and the massive valuation were an unexpected result of solving that specific problem exceptionally well for a large, frustrated audience, rather than being the primary upfront business goal driving every decision from day one.
Got it. So the intent is solving the problem deeply, using the best tools. The accident is the unprecedented scale that approach unlocks.
Exactly. And that scale is possible because of this specific tech stack they describe.
Right.
The source argues this solo empire isn't built on just luck. It's built on strategically assembling this AI-powered stack. This is what separates, say, a fantastic solo business that might plateau at 6 figures from a vibe economy empire hitting potentially 10 figures in revenue or valuation.
So the AI stack is what allows one person to effectively do the work of, a traditional corporation's hundreds or thousands of employees.
Precisely. That's the core idea. Instead of hiring massive teams for marketing, sales, support, operations, the solo entrepreneur uses these integrated AI stacks to amplify their own intuition, their empathy, and their capability across millions of interactions simultaneously. It's leverage on a massive scale. The guide breaks it down conceptually into a 7-layer stack.
Okay, a 7-layer stack. Give us a sense of some of these layers. What kind of specific tools does the source actually point to, just for flavor?
Okay, yeah, for flavor, the layers include things like
The emotional intelligence core. This is the absolute heart of the vibe reading capability.
the empathy engine.
Exactly. Tools mentioned include platforms like Hume AI, which specifically analyze emotional nuances in text, voice, even video, combined with powerful foundational models like GPT-4 that provide that deep contextual understanding.
Yeah.
Layer 3. Omnichannel communication hub. This is how you manage personalized interaction with potentially millions of users across different channels. Examples include things like the WhatsApp Business API, AI-powered customer messaging platforms like Intercom, maybe advanced voice processing tools.
Right, handling all the contact.
Layer 4, global operations automation, basically running the entire business backend on autopilot. This includes platforms like Stripe or PayPal for global payments, APIs for manufacturing or fulfillment like Alibaba if you need physical goods, automated legal services maybe like LegalZoom, and AI-driven bookkeeping tools like QuickBooks with AI integration.
Wow, the whole back office automated.
Pretty much. Layer 5, content and creative production, generating everything from marketing copy and social media posts to actual code, images, or audio. Examples are things like Midjourney or Daily 3 for visuals, 11 Labs for realistic voice generation or cloning, GitHub Copilot for coding assistance, and crucially, no-code or low-code builders like Bubble or Webflow that let you build sophisticated software interfaces visually without deep coding expertise.
So you don't even need to be a master coder yourself.
Not necessarily, no. And layer 7, community and network effects. Tools specifically designed to build and leverage your user base for growth and feedback. Platforms like Discord or Circle for community building, and maybe referral systems like Referral Candy to incentivize word of mouth.
That's a very concrete list. It really paints a picture of assembling these different capabilities like Lego bricks. But what does the source claim this kind of stack actually costs to run at scale? For 1 million customers, that must be astronomical, right? Even with APIs.
This is honestly one of the most surprising claims in the entire guide. The total estimated monthly cost for running an operation serving 1 million customers using this kind of stack is estimated at just $6,500 to $18,000.
Wait. Monthly.
Right.
$6,000 to $18,000 a month for 1 million customers. That sounds impossible.
Right. It seems crazy low. But the source breaks down how this is possible. These costs are primarily usage-based API fees. You're paying per interaction, per transaction, per bit of data processed.
Not salaries, not rent, not massive server farms you own.
Exactly. You're not making huge upfront capital investments in infrastructure. You're leveraging the massive scale of cloud computing and these API providers. Think about that cost. It could be less than 2% of revenue for a highly profitable business operating at this scale.
That's revolutionary.
It absolutely is. We're talking about accessing capabilities that would have required infrastructure costing millions of dollars and employing hundreds of staff just 5 years ago. That huge cost barrier has essentially collapsed, making solo global scale economically viable for the first time.
Wow. Okay, so the technology is accessible, the infrastructure is there via APIs, the timing is perfect according to the guide, and the running costs are incredibly low once you actually hit scale. But circling back to that accidental part, how do you even find that initial accidental billion-dollar idea? The guide insists you shouldn't actively try to find it, which is weird.
Exactly. That's the central paradox they keep emphasizing. Trying too hard to build a billion-dollar company by, say, chasing the latest market trends or looking for what seems lucrative on paper. That's positioned as the biggest obstacle.
Huh.
The consistent pattern of these potentially massive solo ventures isn't about market reports or competitor analysis initially. It's about solving your own genuine problem, building a solution with real empathy, accidentally scaling because that problem was widely shared and poorly solved, and then realizing the global transformation potential you've stumbled upon.
So what's the profile then? What does this accidental billionaire look like, according to the source?
Well, they are someone genuinely frustrated by a personal problem that existing solutions handle poorly or maybe impersonally.
Okay.
They are comfortable experimenting with AI tools, but not necessarily, deep technical experts themselves. They're effective tool users, not necessarily the architects building the core AI models. Crucially, they are naturally empathetic and focused on serving people and their needs, not just hitting quarterly projections. And they are accidentally authentic because the whole thing comes from a place of genuine frustration and real desire to help themselves and then others like them. The authenticity isn't manufactured.
That authenticity and empathy seem absolutely core to this whole vibe economy concept. Okay, so how does the guide recommend actually finding that initial problem to solve if you're not supposed to look for markets?
It's a really simple, almost introspective 5-step process they outline. 1, identify your genuine frustrations. What problems do you face in your daily life that really annoy you? Things that feel impersonal or inefficiently handled by current solutions. Ignore market research at this stage. Focus purely on your personal pain points.
Okay, start yourself.
Yeah. 2, find your community. Connect with other people who share that exact same frustration. Where do they hang out, online or offline? Find your tribe.
Makes sense.
3, validate through conversation. Actually talk to at least 10 people from that community. Go deep. Understand their emotional pain points, their practical problems. Why do the current solutions fail them? Listen more than you talk.
Really understand the problem.
4, assess AI advantage. Ask yourself honestly, could vibrating AI provide a genuine 10x improvement, maybe in speed, personalization, empathy, accuracy, compared to how this problem is solved today? Is AI the right tool here?
Okay, is there a real edge?
And 5, Start with minimum viable solution. Build the absolute simplest AI-powered solution using existing tools and APIs that directly addresses that specific core frustration you validated. Nothing fancy, just solve the main pain point.
Chase problems you genuinely experience, not markets you read about. That really does flip the script on traditional entrepreneurship advice. Does the guide identify any specific high-potential opportunity areas where this vibe economy approach might thrive?
It does, yeah. It points to areas where understanding human emotion and intent is obviously paramount. Things like vibe reading customer service that actually feels helpful and understanding, hyper-personalized wellness coaching based on your real-time state, emotionally intelligent content creation and curation, finding stuff that resonates with how you feel, conversational business automation that doesn't feel robotic, and cultural adaptive communication tools for global teams or services, understanding nuances across cultures,
Okay.
all based on building technology that deeply understands the human behind the interaction, not just the data point.
So you've found your authentic personal problem. You've built that simple AI solution using these tools. How do you actually build and scale this vibe-aware business, focusing on that accidental growth path?
Well, first, the source reinforces that remarkably low startup costs. Again, they estimate just $5,000 to $15,000 to get that minimum viable vibe economy business launched and running.
At 5 to 15K, that's really accessible.
Incredibly accessible compared to traditional startups. The key, again, is starting with that authentic problem and letting the solution's intrinsic value and the resulting network effects drive organic growth, rather than trying to force scaling with big marketing spends before you're ready.
Right.
They outline a high-level 4-phase development process, sort of moving from initial interface creation through rapid scaling and optimization to eventual market dominance. But the critical first step, the launch strategy for accidental scaling, that's where the magic is supposed to begin.
Okay, tell us more about that specific launch strategy. How does it work if you're not, blasting ads everywhere?
It's very counterintuitive compared to traditional scaling playbooks. One, start with your community, share your simple solution initially, only with those 10, 50 people you talk to, or the small focus community where you validated the problem exists. Keep it tight.
Super focused.
2, focus relentlessly on being helpful. Ruthlessly prioritize making the solution solve the core problem exceptionally well for this initial group. Don't worry about complex features, monetization, or anything else yet. Just be useful.
Solve the pain.
3, let AI handle the improvement. This is key. As more users join organically, drawn in by word of mouth from the initial group, the AI system automatically learns from all the new data and interactions. This makes the product smarter and more personalized for everyone on the platform simultaneously, without you manually tweaking things constantly.
The system gets better on its own.
4, build infrastructure only when forced. Add the more complex business systems, payment processing, legal agreements, automated support reactively. Only build it when rapid growth actually makes it absolutely necessary, not upfront just in case. Stay lean.
Don't overbuild.
And 5, maintain authentic connection. As you scale, use the AI to amplify your genuine empathy and connection with your users, not replace it. The AI should feel like a helpful personal extension of the founder's original intent and care, not like a generic corporate bot.
It really sounds like growth is framed almost as a side effect of solving the problem exceptionally well and personally, rather than the primary goal you just blast towards from day one.
Exactly. That's the core thesis.
Yeah.
And that deep helpfulness and the organic network effect that results are what enable the incredible revenue models and that exponential profitability the source highlights.
Okay, let's talk revenue. What kind of models thrive in this vibe economy, according to the guide? Is it just subscriptions?
They actually advocate for flexible, often hybrid models that capture value based on usage and the level of personalization delivered. Subscriptions are foundational, sure, maybe $2,200 a month for individuals, potentially $25, $60 per seat for teams, something like that.
So not enough.
But crucially, they emphasize adding usage-based pricing on top, charging tiny amounts, maybe like $0.0001 to $1 per API call its equivalent or per complex interaction. This captures immense value from heavy, high-value users without alienating lighter, more casual users.
Pay for what you use beyond a base level.
Exactly. They also mention things like value-based pricing, maybe charging a percentage of the documented value or savings the AI provides the customer, and eventually the potential for building a marketplace with commissions, or landing high-value enterprise contracts once the platform matures. It's about aligning price with value delivered.
And those crazy high profit margins you mentioned earlier, the 85 to 95% range, How do they actually achieve that level consistently? Is that realistic?
That's precisely because the AI stack, as we discussed, eliminates most of those traditional operational costs that normally scale with customers.
Right, the staffing, the physical infra.
Exactly. You don't need massive call centers scaling linearly, or huge sales teams dialing for dollars, or vast physical infrastructure. The AI handles the personalized heavy lifting at near zero marginal cost per user. This economic model is just fundamentally different from traditional businesses, and that's what enables both the incredible margins and the incredibly rapid exponential scaling where profit grows much, much faster than costs.
Okay, let's dive a bit deeper into that exponential scaling concept itself. Why is it so much faster and different than how traditional businesses typically grow?
It comes down to that network effect revenue multiplier we touched on. In a traditional business, generally, adding more customers adds more revenue, but it also adds roughly proportional costs. It's mostly linear growth.
More inputs, more outputs.
Right. In a vibe economy business, powered by learning AI, more users mean more interaction data. That data makes the core AI smarter, which directly improves the product for everyone. Existing users get a better experience, and new users are attracted by a constantly improving product.
Ah, so it feeds itself.
It feeds itself. This increased value then attracts more users, which generates more data, which makes the AI even smarter. It's a powerful virtuous cycle, a compound effect that leads to exponential, not linear, growth.
So the 1,000th user doesn't just get the same experience as the first user did. They actually get a better experience because of the collective data contributed by the previous 999.
Precisely. The value is nonlinear with usage. And the source argues pretty strongly that a solo entrepreneur actually has distinct advantages over large corporations in leveraging this specific model.
Really? What are those solo advantages they list? You'd think big companies would crush this.
You might think so, but the guide points to decision speed. A solo founder can make critical decisions in hours or days. Big corporations, months, sometimes years for approvals through layers of bureaucracy.
True.
Personalization capability.
Yeah.
A solo founder using AI can potentially achieve infinite depth of personalization tailored to each individual user's vibe. Corporations are often limited by legacy systems, internal silos, and standardized processes.
So less agile.
Customer connection. The solo founder, especially early on, has that direct, authentic empathy and connection. Corporations often have layers between decision makers and actual customers, leading to a more removed feel.
Makes sense.
And economic efficiency. We talked about the 90% plus potential margins versus the typical 10-20% margins for many traditional large businesses. So the solo founder can move at lightning speed, understand people on a deeply personal level, connect authentically, and keep almost all the revenue generated. It really does flip the script on the perceived advantages of corporate giants in this specific type of business.
That's compelling. The source must predict a pretty big shakeup in the market once this starts happening, once the first one breaks through.
Oh, absolutely. They predict what they call an avalanche effect. Once the first solo billion-dollar company becomes widely known and verified.
An avalanche, what does that look like?
They anticipate a few things. A rush of other individuals attempting to replicate the model, naturally. An infrastructure gold rush for the AI tools and platforms, enabling the pick and shovel providers. Panic, frankly, from traditional businesses who start losing customers rapidly to these hyper-efficient, hyper-personalized solo operators. And potentially significant economic restructuring as more individuals realize they can build globally impactful businesses with these accessible tools, changing the definition of entrepreneurship.
A major shift. Now, we've discussed this being possible now, but it still feels a bit abstract without concrete examples. The source mentions companies like OpenAI, Scale AI, Jasper AI. How do those fit into this solo billionaire narrative? I mean, they clearly aren't solo ventures. They have huge teams, massive funding.
That's a crucial point, and the source addresses it directly. They frame these companies not as examples of solo ventures themselves, obviously, but as powerful illustrations, the capabilities and the market dynamics that solo entrepreneurs can now leverage via APIs and much more accessible tools. These giants pave the road.
Ah, okay. So these giants built the foundational AI models, the infrastructure, proved the market, and now individuals can tap into that power.
Exactly. The source points to why those companies succeeded in the first place and argues those same underlying success factors are now democratized and available to solo founders. Things like technical differentiation via advanced AI. Well, now you can access state-of-the-art AI via APIs.
Right.
Consumer-first viral adoption strategies that matches the solo problem-solving community-first pattern. A narrow focus initially before expanding broadly that mirrors the accidental growth path.
Yeah.
And leveraging network effects and viral growth loops, which AI-driven personalization can amplify even further for a solo operator. The source actually suggests the solo entrepreneur, with their inherent advantages in speed, deep personalization, and authenticity, might even have greater potential building specialized applications on top of these foundational platforms built by the giants.
That's a fascinating reframing, using the giant's shoulders to build something even more nimble and personalized. Okay, so the tools are here. The potential is massive, according to this guide. But what are the biggest pitfalls? Where does this go wrong? The guide must list some fatal mistakes to avoid.
It absolutely does, and it circles right back to that core paradox we talked about. The biggest threat is often trying too hard or focusing on the wrong thing entirely. The source lists 5 specific fatal mistakes that tend to kill these kinds of AI businesses, especially those aiming for rapid vibe economy scale.
Okay, what are they?
Number 1, technology first thinking. This is building a cool AI demo or some complex tech without deeply understanding and validating a real specific human problem. It solves significantly better than alternatives. You have to start with the problem, then apply the AI, not the other way around.
Problem first. Got it.
Number 2, scaling before product market fit. This is a classic startup killer, but maybe even more dangerous here. Trying to force growth with marketing spend or aggressive sales before you have achieved genuine user love and strong organic adoption, this kills the crucial network effect and viral loop before they can even start working their magic. You burn cash chasing users who don't stick.
Don't push water uphill.
Exactly. Number 3, ignoring emotional intelligence. This is specific to the vibe economy. Building generic, purely functional AI instead of creating those deeply personalized, vibe-aware experiences. If you miss the core human connection, you miss what drives the viral adoption, the loyalty, and the premium value in this space. Your product feels cold.
Needs the vibe.
Number 4, poor authenticity management. Losing that genuine connection and empathy that was the original spark as the thing starts to grow. Letting the AI become a wall or a source of generic corporate communication instead of amplifying the founder's original human touch and care. Copycats often miss this authenticity, even if they copy the features.
That authenticity point again, crucial.
And number 5, inadequate infrastructure planning. While you shouldn't overbuild early, you do need to anticipate and prepare for rapid, potentially exponential growth. If the viral loop kicks in and your back-end systems crumble because you weren't ready for the scale, you can kill your momentum just as fast as it appeared. You need to be ready to scale the tech when the demand hits.
So prepare for success even if you're not aggressively chasing it initially.
Right. The source keeps hammering that authenticity point. Focus authentically on solving a real human problem with empathy, leverage the tech stack effectively, and you're more likely to accidentally build something massive and sustainable. Focus primarily on building a billion-dollar company by chasing perceived markets and using generic tactics, and you'll likely fall into one of these traps.
You know, a critical practical point, especially when we're talking about vibrating AI that understands emotions. Data privacy and compliance must be huge.
Oh, absolutely essential. And the source emphasizes this cannot be an afterthought. It's foundational. Since you're potentially handling highly sensitive emotional, psychological, maybe even biometric data implicitly, privacy by design is completely non-negotiable from day one.
Right.
Understanding the regulations like GDPR in Europe, CCPA in California, and various others globally is critical. Implementing robust consent management systems, clear data usage policies, ensuring security, it's all fundamental. It's not just about avoiding fines. It's absolutely essential for building and maintaining the user trust required to operate at this deep personal level. Lose trust, and you lose everything in the vibe economy.
So privacy isn't optional, it's table stakes for this entire model.
Completely. It's what separates a sustainable, trusted platform from a potentially dangerous, short-lived experiment.
Okay, so if someone is listening to this and they're feeling inspired by the potential, maybe they've even identified a frustrating personal problem they think AI could solve. Where do they even start? Are the necessary tools and resources genuinely available today? For real.
According to the source, unequivocally yes. The infrastructure required to potentially create this kind of accidental billionaire story is fully available right now. You don't need to build custom AI models from scratch in a university lab or lay your own fiber optic cable across the globe anymore. The pieces are on the shelf.
Okay, so what kind of resources specifically should they maybe look into first?
Well, the source lists several categories of essential tools. Things like vibe-reading AI platforms. This could be using APIs from major players like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, or specialized platforms like Hume AI that focus on emotional analysis. No-code development frameworks, tools like Bubble, Webflow, maybe even Soft or Glide, plus automation platforms like Zapier or make for connecting different services without writing code.
Tools to build without being a coder.
Exactly. Global operations APIs like Stripe for payments, Twilio for communications, perhaps services like Printful for print-on-demand merchandise, or even platforms accessing global manufacturing or fulfillment networks if needed. Community and growth platforms, places like Discord, Circle, maybe even specialized forum software, plus referral marketing tools. And critically, learning and validation resources communities like Indie Hackers, Product Hunt, various founder forums where you can share ideas, get feedback, and validate problems before building too much.
That's a good list of starting points. And the hardware, the estimated startup cost, you mentioned it earlier, but let's just reinforce that number.
Yeah, the hardware is likely just a powerful modern laptop, maybe multiple monitors for productivity, good peripherals for clear communication, basically the standard toolkit of a modern digital worker. And the source estimates the total initial cost, including maybe some software subscriptions and initial API credits to get an MVP launched and tested with that first small group, is somewhere in the range of $5,000 to $15,000.
$5,000 to $15,000. It bears repeating because it's so low compared to traditional business startup costs.
It really is. The core message here is that the massive technological barrier, the sheer cost and complexity that historically prevented solo entrepreneurs from competing at global scale, has been essentially eliminated. Success now, according to this guide, depends almost entirely on finding those authentic human problems, building genuinely helpful solutions with empathy, and creating that deep emotional connection amplified effectively by AI. The barrier isn't capital or tech access anymore, it's insight and execution.
So this entire almost unbelievable journey culminates in that specific moment of realization you mentioned earlier, maybe around month 10 to 12 in that timeline.
Yes, the source describes it quite vividly. Picture the founder. They've been heads down, obsessed with making their solution better for users based on feedback, maybe just frantically trying to keep up with the unexpected viral growth.
Right, just managing the chaos.
Then one day, they pause, they look up from the weeds, and they really look at the metrics dashboard, millions of daily active users. Monthly recurring revenue that seems completely surreal compared to where they started. Customer satisfaction scores through the roof, like 95% plus. And they realize it's still just them. Plus, their automated AI stack running the show. And the market valuation based purely on these fundamentals is undeniably approaching or exceeding $1 billion.
Wow.
That's the moment of realization, when the sheer unprecedented scale becomes undeniable, and they grasp what they've accidentally built by focusing on solving that one problem really, really well.
It's not a gradual climb they plan meticulously for years, but more like a sudden recognition of hitting escape velocity, triggered by solving a real need effectively.
Exactly. And the source summarizes the key ingredients for getting there. It's that potent combination of accessible technical capability, leveraged via these tools, with fundamental business principles, like focusing on value and profitability, strategic thinking about leverage, using AI and infrastructure effectively, relentless execution on solving the core user problem, and critically, that unwavering focus on creating genuine human value rooted in authenticity and empathy. It's about solving real problems ethically and effectively with uniquely scalable systems.
The source ends with a pretty powerful call to action, doesn't it? Almost a challenge to the reader, or listener in our case.
It really does. It essentially states that the opportunity right now is extraordinary and potentially historic, that the window for these first-mover solo advantages might be closing relatively quickly as the market matures, that the convergence of vibrating AI, global infrastructure as a service, and AI-driven network effects is definitively here, right now, and that the first solo billionaire leveraging this confluence of factors is about to prove this entire model to the world very soon.
And the concluding sentence.
Sharp, direct, unambiguous. The time to start building is now.
Wow. Okay. So the possibility of a solo billionaire AI entrepreneur isn't science fiction anymore, at least according to this guide we've been diving into. It's presented as a real, potentially imminent outcome, driven by specific technological and market shifts we're experiencing right now, leveraging newly accessible tools, and crucially requiring a deep focus on authentic human connection and problem solving.
That's the compelling and honestly quite provocative picture the source paints. The infrastructure is apparently in place. The AI capabilities are increasingly democratized via APIs, and the market seems hungry for the kind of deeply personalized, empathetic solutions that perhaps only vibe-aware AI, leveraged by a focused, authentic solo founder, can deliver at massive scale with previously impossible efficiency.
Given everything we've unpacked today, these powerful tools, this almost unbelievable potential, this rapid timeline, the emphasis on authenticity, what stands out most to you from all of this? If you had to pick one thing, what's the single most important takeaway our listeners should be thinking about after hearing this deep dive?
That's a good question. For me, I think it really boils down to that core, almost philosophical idea presented. Given that these incredibly powerful, globally scalable tools are now accessible to individuals, and given this unprecedented potential for leverage, what authentic frustration in your own life, or maybe in the lives of people you genuinely care about, could actually be the starting point?
Back to the personal problem.
Exactly. That nagging personal problem, if addressed with genuine empathy and strategically leveraged with these accessible AI tools, might just contain the seed for that accidentally billion-dollar solution the guy talks about. Forget chasing trends for a moment. What problem is genuinely nagging you? That feels like the real starting question.
A very powerful question to end on indeed. What problem could you solve? And if you want to dive deeper into some of the specific concepts we touched on today, you could certainly explore those vibrating AI platforms we mentioned, like Hume AI or others. You could experiment with some of those no-code development tools like Bubble or Webflow, or maybe research how companies like OpenAI or Scale AI actually built the foundational capabilities that are now becoming available to everyone via APIs.
Yeah, the source definitely provides a compelling, if perhaps optimistic, framework for understanding the mechanics and potential of this emerging vibe economy and the truly unexpected opportunities it might be creating for motivated individuals right now.
Well, thanks for joining us today to unpack this truly audacious claim about the future of entrepreneurship and the potential for individuals in this rapidly evolving age of AI. It's been fascinating.
Always a pleasure. Lots to think about there.